Yeah, this is super awkward. I have a lot of thoughts on my mind, and right now, I'm feeling real raw, open, and vulnerable. And I figured this would be the best time to probably get my thoughts out. Shit, I don't even know where to start. I have a lot to say, but I don't even know where to start. Um, I guess I'll probably just introduce myself. Some people know me, a lot of people don't. My name is Keyshawn, 38 years old. I'm a Taurus. I was born May 8th, 1985. I'm an only child to my mother, Deborah. I have two siblings. My younger sister, Ayana. She has my two twin nieces, Luna and London, and then my younger brother, Aday. And then my stepfather, Fuzzy. He has multiple children, my siblings who are all older than me. My blood father, Daryl, and my mother, they had me in 85. They didn't work out. My mother met my stepfather, Fuzzy. They didn't have any kids together because they already had multiple kids and she had me, so they were good with children, but they met when I was young, when I was a baby, and they're still together today. I don't have no ill will towards my blood father. Actually, he's one of my best friends and my road dogs to this day. And I think that's because as I grow up and become more of a man, I understand his situation and the things that he was going through. I've been realizing a lot lately. And for the people who are friends of me on social media, y'all know that I've been going through my mom said it was a midlife crisis that was necessary for a man to grow up because sometimes men mature later than women. And I feel like I'm definitely going through a super late in life maturation right now. I've been grown for a while, but lately my heart, my mind, and my spirit have been telling me that they all been pulling themselves in different directions, and it's causing me physically to wear down, mentally and physically, and my body is wearing down. I'm getting tired. I'm getting towards the end of my rope with all of the bullshit running around and playing games and the immaturity. And I had a mental break about 2 weeks ago where I was just letting out so many emotions that I held inside of me as a man that I wasn't able to express publicly or socially for 15, maybe 20 years, because I'm 38. And I've been holding a lot of stuff in since a young man, since I was like 18, 19, 20 in there. So yeah, about 20 years worth of emotion damn near just being held in, bottled up. That had just all come out of me recently about, all the dreams and the goals that I had for myself as a young man, things that I had not accomplished for myself, just juxtaposing where I saw myself as a young man to where I am now. And I kind of realized like I've been coasting on autopilot for damn near 15 years now. And I've been through a lot of traumatic events in my life in the past 15 years that I kind of really never sat down and took the time to process. And, you go through life and things happen, traumatic events, serious things, big things happen in your life, and you just don't take the time to sit down and process them. So shit just goes like, and you keep all of those emotions bottled up and stored inside of you. And For me, it's just been like my midlife crisis has been like a reconciling of who I am as a man. I know I'm not the most handsome or the most popular guy. And for a long time, like social validation was a big part of my identity, even though I never outwardly presented that. But I was just following the crowd and wanting to be accepted and wanting to be cool. But then you juxtapose that with I have a son, 6 years old, Kyrie. A lot of y'all know my son. He's autistic. He's a handsome, beautiful young boy, full of energy and life. And he is extremely energetic. And with the autism, he's like hyper. So I've been having an adventure, raising my son along with his mother. His mom is very cool. We're not together, but we're cool. We don't have any of the baby mother, baby father drama. We co parent wonderfully. I'm very thankful for her as a mother. And, I think with her motherly instincts, I try to learn from her. I try to learn from all of the other people that have autistic children or just the parents of neurotypical children who display patience and loving uh, qualities towards their kids. And I'll admit, I love my son to death, and I'll engage him and play with him. There's certain points where I get a little bit tired or frustrated of his nonstop energy, and I be needing like a break sometimes because he just goes 24/7 like a battery. And just furthering my journey and try to learn my son and try to connect with him more and bond with him. And I recently met some people that I went to school with back in the day that I've not been in contact with for a while, and they have autistic children. And also, some groups on Facebook, people that I don't know that are talking about their autistic children, and I just jumped in the chat just to go look and see what they was talking about. And I realized that, well, basically after 6 years of having my autistic son, and then when we went to go get him diagnosed when he was 2, and I'm big on conspiracy theory. If you know me, I'm heavy into government and politics and what's happening today. I jumped on the whole immunization wave, and I still to this day think that immunizations had something to do with it. But when they told me that autism was genetic, I didn't really take much stock in it until I started realizing that I've been displaying autistic traits throughout my life for quite some time, and I never really noticed it. And I had a real heart to heart with my mom because I was trying to reconnect with her about all these feelings and this little, crisis that I'm going through mentally, spiritually. And, she told me, I don't think you're autistic because I had you tested in the 80s for autism. I said, why you had me tested? And she said, because you spent a lot of time by yourself in your room just reading books and encyclopedias and just being immersed in your own world of reading when you was young. And that wasn't typical for young children who used to like to go play and be outside and get into stuff and, just be into some mischievousness. Like my son, he's always just constantly into stuff. He's an explorer. He's always opening doors he ain't supposed to. He's touching stuff, blah, 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 blah. So sometimes I get frustrated and I'm like, boy, relax. And there's a spectrum to autism, and the spectrum is very wide. And my mom, when she said she had me tested when I was younger in the 80s, she was told that the results came back clean, that I was fine, that they told her that my proclivity to introversion, introspection, and being alone and liking to be alone and not engaging in social stuff was totally fine. He's, he's higher IQ. And then academically, I kind of fed into that because I never missed an honor roll or perfect attendance throughout elementary school. And then I think when puberty hit and when I hit middle school and then high school was when like my interest in all of the academic stuff and me wanting to explore outside and go see the world and go see life started to kick in because I was very sheltered when I was young, like elementary school, but not for a fault of my mom. It's just because that was my thing. As an only child, it was my way to soothe myself, read books, get immersed. But it grew to a point where after a while, I didn't like socializing. And then I think that carried over into later in life where I just never was big into like the club scene. I always felt like going out and getting drunk in a club was just like a bunch of trauma bonding. And like, I like to drink and I like to get tipsy, but I would get annoyed being around a whole bunch of other drunk people who can't control their liquor. So it was never a big thing for me to be out and about. And I think that kind of made my social life suffer now that I'm older and I'm like, looking to reconnect with friends socially and like, analyze myself. Uh, yeah, I think being an introvert as a really young kid carried over into my adult life and it caused inadvertent damage to my social life and just my overall psyche as an adult now. And there are multiple points as an adult now that I come to realize, like, my lack of maintenance of real friendships because of my introversion. And I've had, really close, tight friends from when I was young that have gone on to do great things with themselves, start businesses and, finish their degrees and get wonderful jobs and move out of New York and go down south and do amazing things, travel the world. And, I've done some of those things. I've traveled and I've made decent money, but, I just thought about my introversion and my keeping to myself a lot. I went to my stepfather's birthday party recently. He's almost 70. And he's in great shape. He's in great health. You can't tell that he's almost 70. He's moving around, moving and grooving like a 50-year-old man. And he's got like 12 guys there at his birthday party. Best circle of friends. And I was happy because my dad's got guys that's going to be with him, to the very end. Someone outside of my mom that he can rely on, depend on, because when you're in a relationship with a woman and you don't have any balance and you don't have no outside, friendships to lean on or rely on, or somebody to go vent with, somebody to just call and say, hey, let's go get a drink and let's vent and talk. When you don't have that, it creates a serious imbalance in your life. And I realize that I have that. A lot of my life has just been introversion and staying to myself and staying out the way for the past 15 years. Like I said, I had some tragic things happen to me. I'll get into them later another day, but I kind of let the tragic things that happened to me in my life put me in a shell. And I've been in the shell for a long time. And now my spirit is telling me to break out of the shell, not just for myself, my own mental health, but because I feel like, ever since I put out the post about going through stuff, I've had a lot of DMs and a lot of people pull up on me and be like, yo, hit me, bro. We could build. I've been going through my own stuff. So the whole point of this live basically is just to express the fact that I've been wanting to pod for a long time and I've been nervous about it because of my personality, my voice, my tonality, my inflection, my engagement with the people and whether they would be interested in what I'm saying. And I think lately I've gotten a real good, interesting topic that I want to talk about in terms of pod and kicking this thing off and starting a pod. Um, as a 38-year-old man with a lot of peers my age and a lot of other guys out there who've been going through stuff, I want to have a discussion with my bros about male mental health. And I would like to create a roundtable with some of my fellas who've hit me up. And I want to discuss where we're at and where in our lives. And the table, I want the table to be open to all people, my peers and my brothers who are successful that I look up to and that I appreciate for going out and chasing their dreams and doing their things. Some of us, like myself, who are in the middle, who have just coasted by, just getting by on a medium and, having things handed to us and going the easy route and not actually having that motivation to go chase more. I want more, and I haven't been motivated to do it. I've just been coasting on autopilot, and my spirit is telling me to break out of that recently. And also the brothers who feel like they failed themselves, because for a while I did feel like I failed myself and I was falling very short of my goals and my dreams. But I've had a lot of people recently remind me like, yo, you're doing very great in life. You're doing okay. I look up to you. I admire your position and who you are. And I had to have people in my life that love me to remind me like you are making an impact, maybe on the level that you want to, but you are making an impact, and we don't want you to stop speaking. Actually, we want you to talk more. So this is just my attempt to create an open forum for my brothers such as myself who are in various stages of life. It's kind of want to like create a support group. We all in various stages of life. Some of us are married with children. Some of us are married yet to have children. Some of us are engaged. Some of us don't have kids. Some of us do and we're not married. We all in various stages of our life, and I feel like we could all build and grow off one another. And I feel like open conversation is the best way for us all to mature as men. I have various topics that I want to talk about. Motivation to do what you got to do as a man. What's the definition of a man? What defines you as a man? What do you feel is manhood, and where you got these ideas from? Culture or nurturing from your family that put these ideas into your mind? Modern conceptions of men, what our role is in society. Toxic masculinity versus positive masculinity. Let's define those. Our roles as men, leaders in society. What the expectations of us as men are. What are we supposed to doing? What are we supposed to do? What's realistic and what's not realistic for us? How much weight can we carry on our shoulders before we need help? And at what point do we let our pride or ego interfere in us being real with the fact that we need help? I was dealing with that for a long time. A big one, relationships. Forming relationships with friends and women, valuing both, and commitment. I have commitment issues. I've had many relationships with many beautiful women, all who are wifey type qualities, and I've had issues with commitment. And I'm reconciling those things. And what is it about us that trains us to be non-committal? Or what is it that makes us shirk our responsibilities as men. And lastly, the power of being a man. Being a man is powerful. Being a woman is powerful. Each in their own separate way. Sometimes we get the roles conflated, and when you say roles, people will, you have a lot of fluidity nowadays with people feeling like they can go back and forth, or there are no defined roles. People have to do what they have to do to survive. And what role society plays in that, in changing our mind, because we're trying to fit in society and not doing the work to make society fit to us and what's right, and us conforming to societal standards. And in terms of men, us being gangsters and players and, popular people who put on for society, and we want to be seen and looked at as that nigga. But then we also have great examples of men in our local community who are putting on as men and giving back and doing the right things. But then even those men have issues, because you can't name a single leader, black leader, Martin Luther, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, whoever you want to name, great civil rights leaders, human rights leaders, just community activists, whoever. It's hard to name a great man, even back to biblical times. The kings that God championed to be, his servants and prophets and all of these things, a lot of them niggas had multiple wives. Like, committing to one woman is an issue that we have in our society that we need to talk about. And I just want to create a safe space. Women are open to come into the chat, but please don't judge men for saying what they gotta say. And I'm not trying to do no Kevin Samuels foster misogyny. I'm trying to get to the root of why we have commitment issues, and why some of us look back on our great grandparents and be like, oh, well, granddaddy married my grandma when they was 16 and 18, and they've been together since they was together until they died. But then granddaddy got a family across town and a family in another state, and it's the same things. We can look back to old school values, about how our grandparents was in committed relationships, but then 2 out of every 4 or 5 stories is about grandpa having a whole nother family or 2 on the side. So yeah, it's not just our generation thing, it's a going back many generations deal. But I just feel like for my maturation and growth that I've been going through recently, I want to create a safe space for the guys to get together and talk. And I just want to create an open forum for us gentlemen. No misogyny, no gender bashing, no bitches ain't shit. If anything, we gonna discuss why us niggas ain't shit. And we gonna get to the bottom of it, and we gonna change this thing, and we gonna turn this whole shit around. I know a lot of women out there are looking for the better part of us. There are a lot of women out there who are disappointed in us. They're very willing and able to be housewives and girlfriends and better halves to a lot of us men, and we're just on average, men mature a lot later than women. That's what all the women in my life, my mom and my grandmama told me. That's what I was told in high school. Women mature faster than men. So for the guys out there who are late bloomers like myself, who are coming into maturity late and starting to look at life different, going through things, going through life in a different lens right now can be a little bit disorienting. And I've learned in the past couple weeks that I'm not alone. So I want to just open up a forum for anybody, any guys out there who want to talk. Hit this status, hit my inbox. I'm trying to start a club. I need a circle of good, reliable guys who got their head on their shoulders, that's willing and open to talk. And let's create a circle where we have something to rely on, where we could be open and honest with one another in our faults, in our shortcomings, as well as our accomplishments and achievements. We can congratulate one another and we can chastise one another in a safe space. We need to have a space for us to get together and grow. It's got to be more than just partying. And I've had a lot of invites to parties and get-togethers and all of that. I need a little bit more. I'm almost 40. And I was looking at my dad's party with all of those group of guys who are mature, talking about real man things. And I don't want to be one of them old dudes on the corner with no woman, no connection to family, who just out here still trying to live my glory days in my 20s and teenage years. I'm ready for my maturation as a man. I'm ready to become a full grown man. And I'm just saying I need a couple of reliable guys to fall back on to go through this journey with. So if there's any other guys out there that can relate to this message, thank you if you sat with me through this whole 26, 27 minutes of chatting, half an hour. This is just my intro. I do plan on doing more actual pods, doing lives going forward. But this is just my intro. I just wanted to tell you about myself, who I am. Like I said from jump, I got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I ain't get through everything right now. But this is just my stepping out, opening myself up with my little intro, letting y'all know who I am as a person and as a man, putting myself forward. No pictures, no filters, just raw me, thoughts open and honest. And if that's something that you could get with and you interested in, link with me and let's build and let's do some more of this. I plan on doing some more of this, whether I got friends with me or not. I plan on talking some more. I got a little cousin who be sending me messages every day, and he inspiring the shit out of me. Shout out Mansa Musa, my little cuz. But yeah, that's it, man. I got a lot more to say, but I ain't gonna hold y'all whole day up. About to get up, go to the barbershop, get cleaned, get right. Hope my message reaches somebody out there. I love y'all. It's a new season for love, openness, and honesty and spiritual maturation, because everything is aligning in the world. Things that are going out, things that are going on outside is in synchronicity with things that are going on in the spirit. And we can't ignore these things. We have to acknowledge them, and we have to address the elephant in the room. We have to address the boogeyman in the closet. We have to face our fears and our traumas in order for us to grow. Every superhero got a traumatic story. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, you name it. They all go through some sort of trauma in order for them to grow and develop their powers and become the superheroes that they are today. And one thing that I've been learning and taking more to heart recently is that we all are God's little G. We manifest our destiny. We control the things that we control, and the things that we can't control, we give up the anxiety and the stress, and we just let the Most High, the Great Spirit, take over. But for the things that are in our control, we have to take the power. We can't be in autopilot. We can't be in cruise control. We have to be in the driver's seat of our lives. We can't just let life happen, which is what I've been doing, and which is the dream and the matrix that I'm waking out of. Changing the world starts with changing ourselves, and that's the path that I'm embarking on right now. And if that message resonates with you, hit me up. I'm here. I'm open all day. I'll be around. Love y'all. I'm out.